President Trump touted his decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord as a success on Thursday. And on Friday, the White House went to work defending the move.
We are leading with respect to CO2 reduction. We have made tremendous progress. If nations around the globe want to seek to learn from us on what we're doing to reduce our CO2 footprint, we're going to share that with them.
The president has made it clear since day one that his job is to protect the interest of this country and our citizens. As he said yesterday, he was elected to represent Pittsburgh, not Paris.
But if the Trump administration wants to get any major legislation done, pressure is mounting. Congress goes on August recess in just 57 days, and the president has tasked it with passing tax reform and repealing and replacing Obamacare. Associated Press congressional correspondent Erica Werner is in our Washington bureau, and she joins us now. Erica, we're nearly 5 months into Donald Trump's presidency, with Republicans controlling both the House and Senate. Do GOP lawmakers feel like they've gotten as much done as they were hoping?
No, there's definitely a lot of frustration, Elaine. As you noted, there are two marquee items, which are health care and tax reform, have yet to move. Health care, of course, passed the House barely, but it's now kind of languishing in the Senate. And tax reform really has not gotten very far at all, despite President Trump's claims to the contrary. Nancy Pelosi kind of made fun of that, in fact, earlier today at a press conference, saying that there is no tax legislation in Congress, which is basically true. So they have little to show thus far for full control of Congress and the White House, and it remains to be seen whether they will make good on either of those issues.
Erica, some people might say, what's the rush in getting things done now? Can't Congress just continue working in September?
Well, sure, they can and they will, but keep in mind that typically when a new president takes office, those early days of the administration are the honeymoon period. Trump really has not had that honeymoon, with his approval ratings around 40%. And if they go on that 5-week August recess, lawmakers, without having gotten anything done, essentially, they are likely to lose momentum, as well as face frustration and discontent from their voters who elected them to do things.
Well, let's talk about next week. It looks like a busy one for the White House. Former FBI Director James Comey is set to testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee. What have you heard? Have your sources indicated what that committee is most interested in?
Well, first, I would mention that the fact of the Russia investigation and that Comey is going to be on the Hill next week really sucks the oxygen from everything else in the agenda. So this is another reason that things are kind of stalling. But yes, this is a very eagerly anticipated appearance by the former FBI director, who was fired, of course, by President Trump. And lawmakers of both parties have any number of questions, and really anything could come out, because, as we know, Comey apparently kept detailed memos about all of his various interactions and meetings with the president. Lawmakers are going to ask about that, ask about the reasons for his firing, ask about what the president told Comey about the Flynn investigation, and apparently asking him to back off the Flynn investigation. So there's a lot of issues that are going to be gotten into, and anything could really come out.
Well, President Trump could invoke executive privilege in this case to stop Comey from testifying. I wonder, has anyone on the Hill commented privately or publicly about that?
Well, he could try to invoke executive privilege. Whether that would be successful is not clear, and the White House has not specified whether or not he will try to. This issue of executive privilege has really just come up in the last day or two. With Congress on recess, we have not heard specific reactions to that. I will say that I don't think that lawmakers of either party would be happy to see that happen. They want Comey to testify. Comey wants to testify. So we'll see if the White House risks it and tries to take that step.
You say lawmakers wouldn't necessarily want to see that happen. I mean, if the president does invoke executive privilege, what would the optics of that be? Well,
the optics would be that Trump has something to hide and that he doesn't want Comey to talk. And as I mentioned, as you know, Comey wants to talk. He asked to testify in open session as opposed to in closed session. He was invited up there by lawmakers of both parties who are very eager to hear from him. So the optics would not be good for the White House.
All right. Erica Werner from the Associated Press. Erica, thanks very much for your insight.
My pleasure.